Hi guys, what is up? What's up? It's Shani with Healing Elements here for a special Halloween type of themed reading for October. So out of the Nightmare Before Christmas deck, and I also have a Past Life deck. I'll pull a few cards from also the Deviant Moon tarot deck. It's amazing. I love the illustrations. And then also the Rainbow and Feather deck, the Egyptian themed Mott deck. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. And we will see what comes up for you guys, shuffle a little bit, and the reading will be generally for the collective, so all 12 signs, no matter what zodiac sign you are, it's relevant. I always believe that even if you're not specific sign that's labeled on the video, if you take a listen, if you're guided to, or you just happen to hear it when you're walking by an autoplay, I feel that the message was meant for you if it resonates and it makes you stop and think, right, in a big way, whether that's not negative or positive. So this is for the collective, and it'll be from the, about the 15th of October. The energies from the 15th to the 1st. We have a big full moon that's going on, and that is happening, of course, in the sun sign of Libra. So we'll have full moon in Aries, and that's the October 20th full moon. Lots of love, and here we are with the reading. So the first card you guys got is out of a beautiful deck. It is the Living with a Feather Heart by Jennifer Sedini. And you got beautiful number 22. I do the best that I can. And so this card, I would like to read a little excerpt out of the book, but mainly, from my own perspective, this card is about what you have learned from the past and what you bring with you as far as lessons and what was kind of unseen before you were able to look back in retrospective, seeing what, of course, could have been better. Not could have, should have, would have, but what could have been what better, done better, maybe handled in a more, sound or healthy way in order to take that knowledge into the future. So I'm going to read out of the book. It says, in embodying, I do the best I can. This card, one may seek to remember that the best may not always be apparent, but instead is a lens with which you can see what was previously unseen by making your own subconscious conscious. Allow the medicine of your own magic to find the beauty of the relationship with the constellation of your soul and the glowing aspects of your spirit. That's beautiful. The words you speak, the songs your spirit sings, and the vision you seek as you come to understand yourself within your surrounding universe become your very own portal to an ascended reality. And I loved this part. This is why I wanted to read it to you guys. As you do, so you are. As you act, you enable creation, and as you embody your own best, you serve as a living star, glistening into the imagination of aspirants to advanced experience, as well as those who presently lack aspiration and may need to find inspiration through your own celestial presence. So I love that. So doing the best you can is basically thriving and teaching others to shine as well, because when you are doing what this card, implies the meaning, when you are reflecting on each experience, or at least when you get to a point in which you are acknowledging what, served you, what didn't, what was toxic and what wasn't in any area of your life, you're able to recognize and perhaps move forward. And the next card you guys got is number 21. So number 21 and 22. This one is I spread joy, and this emphasizes the, benefits basically of living in the moment and filling yourself up with joy and that peaceful, absolutely content feeling and exuberance, a laugh, anything that is completely fully alive, and you are in that awakened state to joy. Just, it says in the book, you live in the language of ecstatic expression, right? And drinking the dance of life, hydrating the soul. I thought that was beautiful with happiness. So it's, emphasizing the importance right now, even as tough as it may be for the existence of all of us, as far as challenges financially or whatever the case may be, whatever our position is for, having gone through the pandemic. It is, letting us know that there is benefits to laughter. It mentions laughter yoga in this book. I've never done that. I'm into, yoga for sure, but I've not had that experience. Maybe it'd be fun. I've definitely gotten my emotions out due to just the overall experience of the energies and everything going on when you do yoga. So it just unlocks so much. But this is, talking about that benefit of being in kind of a group setting, like at a comedy club or something, of just with your family or with your beloved, and listening to something that is infectious and you laugh. And it is something that you possibly didn't know that you would need, that kind of energy and uplifting, spiritual vibration, right? It's like a spiritual vibration, upload, you definitely are able to be a lot more present and do a lot more for other people. When you are spreading joy, they receive the joy and want to, like the ripple effect, express that and be exuberant also and spread that to other people. So, it says in the book, looking to joy as a practice in living fluently in the idealized language of light is the embodiment of ecstasy. Rapture realized and revealed within a rapport that refreshes. I love that. Okay, and your third one is card number 8 in this deck, and it says, I regard all altars with respect. I love that. Number 8 is all about, you see her there, and she is a mother. She's nurturing something. She cares about things. She's being very tender, pouring the water. Always reminds me of an Aquarius. And you see the obelisks in the back, and she's just very, very conscious of respecting that space. And I always take such a long time to decorate the altar that I'm using for each reading, whether it's private or filming something for YouTube, etc. But I just completely want to say that this is something that you are getting a message to do, whether it's an altar or your space in general, your living space. So now, because this book is just full with rich knowledge and just so much, value, I wanted to read out of the book. Card number 8, it says, no matter the language through which spirit is expressed, every altar should ideally be honored as though you are seeing the mind in real time. Altars carry intelligence and power, and one must be mindful of disrespecting spaces of creative force, even if the tradition doesn't resonate with your own path, right? So it says, respect and allow, honor and give blessings. Bow to the heart of creation, which is at the essence of every tradition, even though you may not fully appreciate or understand each one, right? So if you have the urge to honor that, that is what this message is telling you to do, guys. So you can design what feels intuitively to you and go for it. It's a really, beautiful feeling when you resonate and you get so close to the space. So this one is out of the Deviant Tarot. And of course, you get the Emperor. If you guys have been perhaps in some sort of power struggle, which there's been a lot of that going on, right? A lot of accusing, a lot of wrongdoing, a lot of having to be accountable, but a lot of power struggles also for no reason, right? And perhaps, certain people out there, someone resonating, has formed not a, aversion to this, but have been too busy to put up with any kind of crap like that and deal with any kind of conflict because it has been something that is imperative for you to do lately, which is more than likely work. The emperor is the father, he's the leader, right? An authority figure, all about protecting and responsible type of, compassionate leadership, and gives support, is definitely able to make decisive action quickly too. And he's one of those protective energies. So do not have fear. Jump in, with a charge. You have to, be confident, be strong at this point if there has been a power struggle, and just, get in alignment with the center of your power. Step into your power within your own, nature that is not aggressive but defensive is what I want to say. So if you have had any power struggles, trust me, yeah, this is all about holding back. This is the 4 of Pentacles. Speaks to me about control in any deck. This is, talking about holding on to something so tight. Maybe you grew up or you're not accustomed to having such, wealth that you've manifested. This also is a confirmation, a compliment sometimes to, especially in this deck, to honor what you've done to meet goals and make money, make ends meet. But it's, warning about being greedy or shrewd. It just asks to, check and balance your own relationship with finances or gift giving, whether that's imbalanced in any way. But it's, again, to me in this reading, representing a big congratulations and, representing that there is either stability at home, at work to come, or there is currently, and Spirit is saying, good on you and within your budget. So this is talking about having solid ground. Of course, this is Pentacles, and your next card is the 7 of Swords. So yes, I think that the Emperor came through, with a message that you need to stand up and be strong and realize that you could have been facing someone or are facing someone that is betraying you, perhaps deceiving you. Maybe it's just some petty trickery, someone wearing a false mask, perhaps. And a sense of diplomacy is needed, and it's, is definitely about being sneaky in some way. So if you have been sneaky, maybe hoarding or just worried about the material items that you have or money finances, because the Four of Pentacles, if you've been the one that has been deceptive or someone has been hiding finances on you or financially trying to govern, more money than they were telling you that they have it. This is a partnership. I feel as if something is, definitely not coming to fruition as you thought it was. So, similar to going for the gusto and being elusive or misled with the Seven of Cups, Seven of Swords to me just rings true to going too hard, trying too hard, kind of like me at the playground, trying to say, don't you like me? When you are going for it and something doesn't work out, it's time to pull back and fight for what you need to defend, but don't go forward with any kind of, trickery or false promises or, you know, elusive motives, things that are, set in front of you could elude you, you could be coming into something innocent, is what I'm saying. You could be thinking you're going into something as an innocent partner and you're trying your best, you're giving it your all, and you have to pull back because you sense that this is conniving and trickery. And here's the past life cards, guys. I am totally loving these. This is the forgiveness card. So perhaps in some way, if you believe in past lives and karma, you, with a partner or person that you are right now living with or dealing with, you are in this lifetime to experience what they experienced in the former lifetime you had together. And it is about forgiveness and understanding to walk in another's shoes, even if it is horrific. What is done is wisdom. And part, if you ask me, of the reason why we choose to come down here and experience. I think that it is forgiveness that leads us to, a lot of epiphanies. And this is about food and hunger, so famish. Perhaps one of the reasons why the Four of Pentacles came up and you're just kind of hoarding or getting a warning not to hoard or keep back and be greedy is because in a past life you've had scarcities, you've had, to suffer and not have any food. Things have been so desperate in which there was utter starvation, maybe in your colony, village, you name it. And so I feel that if anyone resonates, perhaps food and hunger were an issue to you in a past life. And that is why, as a person, you grasp on to things and truly admire, appreciate them, and really want to hold them dear because you fear, that scarcity to be hunger. And this is an interesting card, the Mother card. Feel for this now, perhaps in a past life, whether you resonate with, divine feminine or divine masculine energy, or consider yourself, whatever gender. This is all about the potential in a past life of you either being a mother and you're not in this life, or vice versa. The yearning to be a mother, perhaps you could not have or bear children. Perhaps you were a mother and you sense that you are missing something in this life, and it is being a mother to someone, something. I feel as if you are wanting to tap into that place that you loved a child, that you loved someone that you were a mother to. And I feel like it may not tap in right now in this, existence for your physical dimension. This is beautiful. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas deck, guys. This is Jack and Sally. This is the Lovers card. So symbolizing Gemini. This is all about commitment to, another party, commitment to self-love, even commitment to making a choice out of your heart space. This often asks us to make a choice and to really look within ourselves as to what our heart and soul are feeling rather than our mind. And this is not always, of course, the best advice. You really have to sometimes be guarded and intelligent about who you pick as your partner. But this also talks about the universal love, and to love yourself is to protect yourself, right? With that Emperor card, and go against anyone who might do you Seven of Swords. This is the Queen of Needles. Needles is swords in this deck. And yeah, this is the abrasive type of very strong, powerful, detached, cutthroat, energy you need to defeat. Yep. And here we go. Another card, the Five of Needles, Five of Swords, just confirming that you are up against a battle. You're sick and tired of something that was a conflict. You did not want to even go there, but someone has tempted you. I feel like whomever is listening to this is all about that type of I'm ready to go because you pushed me, and it was like the sleeping giant within you. And so I just warn you not to be so aggressive. Things are crazy enough. You don't need that much headache and just negative energy, but I know how it is, and I know how people can be so bent up, aggressive, very, very short-tempered right now, but the key is to just remain in your space of feeling joy and, forget all the rest. Okay, Soul Fam, that was your reading. Blessings, love, and light. I super appreciate you. Guys, I love you. I really wanted to shout out and just tell you I'm here for you, just doing the do, work in progress as you all are, helping people with spiritual counseling, just really trying to be, of help and service and heal. And I love you very much and I thank you. Blessings, love, and tons of positive vibage, guys.